Well, what a great start to our 24-hour session on Todber Manor Fisheries, Little Hayes Lake. I'm here with Kia Sanga, and he's hopefully going to show us some tactics on how he's so consistent on day ticket waters such as this. So mate, let's get her back, hopefully catch some more.
Get going.
So I've just come down to the lake, got all the gear ready, and it's pretty busy at the moment. It's probably only sort of 3 or 4 swims that are spare, and 2 of those are right down the end of the lake, right on the end of the wind, and there's no pressure up this end. I can't believe there's no one down here. As I said, the wind's blowing in here, there's loads of reeds on that far margin, and Kia tells me that's where they feed them throughout the summer as well, so there's bound to be fish here, there's bound to be spots to fish. I'm sure where they feed them is going to be a rock hard bottom as well. Just looks prime, to be honest. Can't believe no one's in here. So I'm going to sling a couple of rods over on the far bank, walk round there and bait up, and hopefully, just hopefully, with it being so quiet, there's going to be a few fish up and down those margins. So we get the rods out.
Right, so I've just slipped that fish back, and I'm going to tell you why I've chose this swim today. So I've got here this morning, that bank was virtually full, and there was nobody in these swims, like either side of this one, and there was no one in this one. And it was pretty obvious that the fish were there because they were rolling and crashing about. And I think that's typical of these day ticket waters, because they're used to angling pressure, they're fished all the time. It's Tuesday, and literally it's 3/4 full. So it's always a good starting point, the less pressured areas of the lake. And it's paid, you know, I've had one straight away, and let's hope we have a few more throughout the day.
So these are the rigs that I'm using for this session. Very, very simple. I'm using 4-ounce leads, probably a little bit different to the norm. I'm not casting far, but I want to use the 4-ounce leads to really send that hook home. When the fish picks up the hook bait, I want them to feel that weight of the lead. And unlike a 2-ounce lead that they can swing about anywhere, this 4-ounce lead, they're not going to be able to do that. So I'm hoping that's going to give me a little edge. As for the hook baits themselves, just using balanced tuna. This one's a tuna wafter. And I've got a sort of a snowman on this one. It's just a whittled down tuna with a Northern Special sitting on top. On Todber Manor, tuna's used an awful lot on here. I know they love it, so I'm going to use a bait that I know that the fish accept and readily eat. So just on the end of those, I've got a couple of bags as well, just for extra attraction. Then once the rods are in place, I'm going to wander around there and underarm some baits over the top, and hopefully it's going to work. I'm going to get them out. Well, just walked into Kia's swim, and as you can see, got a double hook up. Good result, mate.
I could bring the camera in to hit that one, mate.
Luckily, he's got his missus here to help. Decent fish, that. Yay! Well done, guys. Brilliant.
So it's gone a little bit quiet since that first fish I had this morning. So I've just topped up with a little bit of bait, 3 spods over each rod. Half an hour later, double take. It's definitely a tactic that works well in these heavily stocked waters. So let's get them out, have a look. One of them looks all right as well. So this is the result of the double take. Luckily my girlfriend was on hand to pick up the pieces when I was playing this little common here. And lo and behold, she had the bigger one. Probably a nice 20-pound linear, that one, I reckon. So what I like to do after catching a fish or getting a bite is top up the spot. I'm going to put 2 or 3 more spods out now. You don't have to fill it in. Do you know what I mean? There's lots of fish in here, and what I tend to do is sort of feed more on a little and often basis. And you know, if I haven't had anything or any indications in the next sort of half an hour to an hour, I'll probably do the same again. There's lots of fish in here. There's a good chance they're coming in. They're cleaning you out. So keep the bait going in, and hopefully the fish will keep coming. So the basis of my spod mix is the boilies I'm using, which are the live system and the tuna. I like to mix it up. So, you know, on certain days you'll find the live system work really well, on others you'll find the tuna will work really well. So you can sort of switch hook baits. Today, as it happens, they're both catching. I'll also mix into that some pellets. These fish have been brought up on pellets, they know exactly what that is. Sweet corn, what carp doesn't like sweet corn, and I'll chuck a little bit of hemp in there just to sort of keep them grubbing around.
Right, so it's just getting around dinner time now. Must be around 6 o'clock. Both of us have got our rods out ready for the night, and I thought it'd be a good time to catch up with Kia. Really, I haven't seen Kia for quite a while. We'll talk to him properly, probably since Romania, I would think, mate.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, that was at the World Championships. Kia was fishing for England out there, and I can't remember the result in the end. Was it bad? Was it a bad one?
Not a good one that year, mate. No, terrible.
No, but it's just an example really of what Kia does. Kia fishes for everything really. His private fishing is for specimen fish over at some very nice estate lakes that you've got hold of for big uns. But he obviously is very good at this kind of fishing as well. And it shows today. You've had, how many bites have you had today?
I've had 4. The girlfriend's had a couple.
Yeah.
And I think I've seen 1 other fish landed.
Yeah,
around
exactly.
The pond, so, and it's busy as well, you know.
It's rammed.
There's a lot of people here.
For a Tuesday night especially. So you're obviously doing something right. So we're getting into sort of getting ready for night time now. Most people would sort of sit there, spot out a load of bait and sit and wait for the fish to come to them basically. But I know you're a little bit different than that. You work hard through the night and sort of make it happen. And how do you do that?
Nothing really changes, mate. You know, it's been like fairly successful today. If you look about how the lake's fished on a whole, and I don't really see the sense in changing up. So regular baiting and regular casting has worked for me today. So I'm not going to change that tonight. You know, I'm going to keep spotting, not loads, just 1 or 2 over the top of my rods every sort of hour, maybe a couple of hours, and hopefully pick a few more off up through the night. So
yeah, I'm sure you will. So on these sort of highly stocked venues, it sounds to me like you're almost approaching it like you would in a match situation, sort of baiting up little and often, sort of ringing the dinner bell all the time, and getting the fish to come to you rather than spotting loads of bait out.
Yeah.
And just waiting for them.
I mean, there's sort of 600-700 fish in here.
Right.
You know, you couldn't put enough bait in to hold them all night. No way, not a hope in hell. So you're better off fishing almost for a bite at a time, building your area, you know, keeping those spods going in on a regular basis. And then that way, if you have been in and been done, you know, you're on it, you're recasting, you're putting some spods out and you're fishing again, you know, whereas I see people put a lot of bait out, they have a couple of early fish, maybe early evening, and or just in the dark, and they don't do anything about it, you know, they'll recast those rods and they stay pretty much motionless until the following night on waters like this, you know. Different if you're fishing for 2 or 3 fish through the night on you know, a lower stock venue, or even, you know, ones with really low stock venue. You sort of bait up and you're almost waiting for that morning bite time, aren't you? You're primed it for that.
You're only looking for one bite, aren't you? That's
you're looking to get bites here, mate. You know, and there's lots of fish, and you know, you can't afford to not have any bait out there.
No,
you know,
that's
they're
true.
hungry and they're going to be looking for swims of bait in. So.
Yeah, so it's all about effort, really. You're going to be tired doing it, aren't you?
100%.
But if you want to catch fish, you've got to do it.
You know, at the end of the day, we'll go fishing for the same reason, really, ultimately to catch fish. I know it's a relaxing sport. And
so you think it's the difference, really, between catching a load of carp and catching 1 or 2?
Yeah, definitely, mate, 100%.
Okay, fair play. Well, hopefully it'll work.
Fingers crossed, mate.
So it's just got dark, and you might think I'm a bit crazy, but I've actually moved swims. A couple of people that were in the sort of middle section of the water have gone home, and in all honesty, I wasn't overly happy down in that corner. I felt a little bit hemmed in. There was actually an angler opposite me fishing down there as well, which I didn't know originally. I just felt hemmed in, so just on dark, these anglers left, and I've decided to hop into these sort of swims that allow me to command the middle of the water, really. It's just getting dark, so basically there's no weed in here really, so I've just picked sort of a couple of markers on the far bank. I'm fishing all the rods at 8 wraps, and I'm going to clip up the spod rod to 8 wraps as well, put a bit of bait out there and see what happens, really. I just feel happier here. I've got a lot more water. I can get up at first light if I haven't had anything, and just keep my eyes peeled, really. If I see anything, I can move on to them, but I'm just a lot happier here. So I'm in the middle of spodding now. I'm going to put out about 8 to 10 spoms out. 3 rods are on the spots, and hopefully I'll catch something. So it's first light, and unfortunately neither myself or Kia have caught anything, and I don't think the rest of the lake has either. I've woke up and everybody seems to be rebaiting right now, but I'm going to do something a little bit different. I've seen a few fish right in the corner where it's nice and quiet, it's not very pressured, so I'm going to flick a few bags in really close by the reeds, keep really quiet, pop the rods on the floor, and I'm hoping that the lack of pressure in that corner will nick me a bite whilst everybody's crashing leads in. So that's the plan. I'm going to go and flick them out now, and hopefully I'll catch something. Well, I've really had to work for him this morning. Been moving from swim to swim every time I've seen one show, and finally I've had a take. Just fishing a rod on the far bank over to the reeds, and hopefully the move's paid off. Come on, mate. We have a mirror in it, I think. Yep. Quite shallow there. Yay! Blimey, that had to work for you, boyo. Well, chasing them around this morning has finally paid off. I didn't think it was gonna at one point, but I was just standing with Kia and the rod rattled off. This is the result. Got to be 20-ish, I would guess, mate, there or thereabouts.
Yeah, that's right.
It's been a really slow night for both of us. We haven't caught anything during the night, and I was starting to get really itchy feet, to be honest. But what's the plan today, mate? What do you reckon?
More of the same, I reckon, mate. It's cold last night, wasn't it? The sun's out now, hopefully. Warm the water up a little bit.
Yeah.
I've seen a couple of fish move in my area. I've had a couple of liners, so I think we've got
hopefully one will rattle off.
Yeah, a couple more, mate.
Good man. Well, I'm going to keep chasing them around, I think, mate, and see if we can winkle another one out.
Nice one, result, mate.
Let's get her back. Well, it just goes to show that even on these sort of day ticket waters where you quite often think you should sit it out, the move works. I've now had 2 fish within about 20 minutes, and I've clearly found them in this quiet bay. Rod's just rattled off again. That was on a tuna wafter, and hopefully it's going to be another nice mirror. Well, the move has really paid off. This is my second fish within about 15-20 minutes or so. Just got the rods back out, fished them about an inch from the reed, something like that, as close as I could get. And the rod rattled off about 5 minutes later. Another lovely Todber Manor carp. The right result.
Right, so I'm just going to run you through the setup I've used on this session and a setup that I'd be happy to use on all of the lakes here at Todber. So I start off with about 75 centimetres of lead core. So that I've just got a simple lead clip set up, semi-stiff hook link, a little bit of coating stripped back to a wide gape hook, fish blowback style with a small rig ring and a small shrink tube kicker. So basically just a nice and simple rig. You don't need to overcomplicate things, and that's what I see people doing wrong on these venues. They're watching their YouTube, they're reading their magazines, and as good as these rigs are, on waters like this where you're recasting often, you don't need to be overcomplicating it. And to that I just literally just fishing a boilie hook bait. I've got a trim down pop up pushed inside there just to give it a bit of balance, you know, make it a wafter. And the reason I'll be using the boilie hook baits on this session is literally, we're just coming into autumn now. All summer, people pile boilies in it all year round. The fish know what they are, and they really want them. So yeah, pack a little rig for busy day ticket carp waters.
So a little tactic that I'm employing, and I'm sure this is not just a coincidence, I think the carp are coming in on the sound of the plop. I'm literally just crushing up a boilie, and placing it as close to the reeds as I can get, and I'm spreading them along the bank. And every time I've done that, I've had a bite. I've had a couple of bites already, very, very quickly, as soon as I baited up. So I'm launching these high in the air, allowing them to plop one by one along the reed line. Hopefully I'm going to get another bite. Well, the third fish of the session, and I'm delighted because it's all down to that move. Moved this morning, been fishing a few hours in this swim and managed to catch 3 fish, all on the tuna wafters. Absolutely loving the bait, and I'm loving the fishing. Really enjoying it here. If you don't see me again, this will be the last fish of the session. If you do, I'll have caught another one. But many thanks to Todber Manor, had a great time with catching up with Kira as well. And yeah, we'll see you next time.